I've said before that it really helps to get to this place of complete and utter despair to wake up. That when we get to the end of what we think we can do, what we can do, when we get to the end of all of that effort, seeking, believing that we can imagine our way into a better reality somehow, trying to use all of these failed coping mechanisms over and over again and again, realizing they just don't do the trick, and exhausting all of that to get to this place of total exhaustion, that's really fortuitous for awakening. And that's true, for sure. Sometimes I've even said to people, maybe you have to go suffer a little bit more and come back. Now, I don't say this flippantly, and I don't say this often, but I have said it occasionally, and it's usually if I feel that somebody's really negotiating with the process. Like there's a part of them that does want to wake up. There's a part of them that's genuine, but there's a part of them that wants to do it the way they want to do it, that wants it to go the way they think it's supposed to go or the way they think it should go, or they have competing agendas that they're not really wanting to completely admit to themselves. And I feel that ambivalence. I feel that internal struggle, and it's almost being projected onto me. Like as I interact with this person, it might be something that I can feel them not fully taking in what I'm saying or where I'm pointing, and it feels like a little bit of a jousting that's going on underneath the surface. And sometimes I get to the point where I'm like, yeah, maybe you just need to go suffer some more, and I mean it. I'm not being mean. I'm saying, hey, go try more of that. The last 5 relationships didn't work to make you happy. Try the 6th. Do it again. Keep your eyes open. Pay attention to what's happening. And you may finally exhaust yourself of this belief that you can make life make you happy in the way you think it needs to. That may sound harsh or like tough love, but it's just honest. Like I hit that point. I know so many people that hit that point. So it's really, good to come to the end of your rope in a sense. Now, I will also say that it's good to come to the end of your rope when you have some inclination or instinct about awakening. Even when you realize you can't force the hand of awakening, you can't make it happen, you can't force reality to give you what you think you're going to get out of awakening, and yet some instinct in you still knows there's something. There's a possibility beyond the scope of you, beyond the scope of your delusion, right? Your illusion, your limited view based on your illusion of the self apart from everything, which is a very limited view. So if you have that instinct and you have exhausted yourself, come to utter exhaustion, that's a good combination. Now, it's a really tragic combination when you get to the end of your rope and you don't have that instinct at all. This can really lead people into some bad places. And of course, there are relative approaches for that, therapy and so forth. And usually if somebody doesn't have a strong instinct about awakening, then they can stabilize in the relative, right? When you have a strong instinct about awakening, you've tried to stabilize in the relative and realize that doesn't even work. A lot of times when people feel a lot of desperation, they really just have poor coping mechanisms in life, and then learning better coping mechanisms can really help actually in the relative world. But what we're talking about here is even a step beyond that, when you realize like really the relative world, when we believe that is the only experience of reality of life, is really unsatisfying. It's not unsatisfying when the relative and absolute are realized as interpenetrated realities, but that takes some significant awakening to get to that place. But to live in the world where the mental version of what's happening, and even just the mental mind identified version of reality, that's not really what the relative is anyway. That's a snapshot of the relative. And that's a really unsatisfying place to be. It's an uncomfortable place to live. So what I really wanted to say here is that it's okay to get to this place of exhaustion. It's okay to get to this place of like giving up and failing. And, your mind will tell you, I'm just giving up on awakening. I'm giving up on all the spiritual stuff, the spiritual nonsense. And that's okay to give up on it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. If you want to give up, give up. If you have a genuine, authentic drive to awaken, then it's going to outlive your inauthentic drive to keep your ego structure going. So give up. It's okay. It's okay to let go. Often when we let go, when we exhaust ourselves and let go, that's when awakening occurs. So that's okay. It doesn't mean you're going to have that big shift right now, but you could. What sometimes happens is people get, they let go and they just get exhausted with all the seeking, and then they let go, but they haven't fully let go, right? Something just needs to acclimatize a little bit to whatever kind of shifting has happened, even if it hasn't really been an identity level shift. But something needs to just settle, acclimatize. And sometimes if we do a lot of work, we do a lot of intense shadow work, meditation, inquiry, we really stir the pot up. We get a lot of like muddy water around us and get disoriented. Sometimes you just need time to let that settle. So it's okay. Just let it go. Let all this go for a while. You can completely forget about awakening stuff and non-duality and all. You can just let go of all this. It's all right. It'll come back. You didn't make it come in the first place, right? You're not in charge of this. So it's okay to let go. It's okay to give up, right? Just keep your eyes open as you're giving up, as you're letting go. Just pay attention to what's actually happening. Don't pay attention to what you think is happening. Don't pay attention to your conclusions, what your mind is telling you is happening. Just pay attention to what's actually happening. And it may surprise you. Yeah, that's all I want to say. You can't really give up any more than you can make anything happen. You can't give up awakening any more than you can force awakening. It's just out of your hands in the way you perceive yourself. And that's good. That's the point. That's the whole point of this. The way you perceive yourself is a very limited version of reality. And an unsatisfying version of reality. So it's okay to let go of it. It's okay to let go of reality as you know it, and life as you know it, and spirituality as you know it, because the spirituality as you know it is bound and defined by that limited sense of self. So let go of it. I did. Many times. Again and again and again and again. The letting go just becomes constant until it's seen to be the transient nature of this. Yeah. Transient just meaning nothing really sticks around. But I should say even that, can get reified, transient nature. Transient nature is also not a quality of experience. It's just an antidote for a misperception of some kind of solidity or permanence, right? So this letting go, just let it happen. It's okay. It's okay to let go completely. Let go right now. See what happens.